The Radio Whammo Breakfast.
Staring into the night sky now with Mr. Dylan Storey, care of the Stardome Observatory. Today we're looking at the lunar eclipse, which is nigh. Hello to you, Dylan.
Hello, Whammo. Hello, listeners.
Yes, the lunar eclipse. Now, you said that this was on the way last week. When exactly can we expect the eclipse of the moon?
Well, it's on December the 21st, which is next Tuesday. And the eclipse will actually the moon will start being eclipsed at about 8:30, but it won't rise to be visible from New Zealand.
8:30 in the evening?
Yeah, that's right, yeah. Or at least it won't be visible from Auckland till perhaps a little bit later than that. It's a bit hard to tell, so it depends on how high the horizon is around you. If you're at Stardome, it will be it'll have One Tree Hill in the way, so it'll sort of rise towards mid-eclipse. So that means that it's going to rise eclipsed, which is quite special in itself. And if you are watching it from Stardome, from the special shows that are going on there, then the moon will be, as the song says, the moon will be turning red above One Tree Hill.
Wow. That'll be something to behold. And it's a total eclipse?
It's a total lunar eclipse, that's right. So the whole of the moon is going through the Earth's shadow. And that's got a sort of another sort of side effect, apart from the light mainly being blocked out, is that it actually turns red.
A blood red moon. Now, this happened only just a few years ago. I remember being out and about when the lunar eclipse was on, so I managed to see it, but I think the weather wasn't that good in Auckland. But when the clouds parted, suddenly there was the red moon.
It was that. That must have been 2007 or something. Yeah.
That's correct. So how often does it happen?
Well, a lunar eclipse of some sort happens twice it happens twice a year somewhere in the world. Now, because it only lasts a few hours, it means that the world takes 24 hours to spin round. That means just one area of the world will be able to see it at a time. So there's some rule that it's something like it happens twice, or 4 times in every 5 years or something for each location. And there is a kind of rough pattern of when it happens. They usually go in cycles of 2. So we had one about 6 months ago, and that wasn't a full one; it was a partial lunar eclipse. So it wasn't as spectacular as this one will be.
And it's got an interesting socio-history along with that as well, isn't it? I know Christopher Columbus used the total eclipse to his was it Christopher Columbus? Was it for his own benefit?
Yeah, I think it was Columbus. Yeah, is that time when he what did he do? He tricked the natives of South America. He told them he could command the moon to go dark, or was it the sun? I forget. But
no, it was the moon.
It was the moon.
Yeah, he knew it was coming, and apparently he wasn't getting enough food onto his boat. Not enough food. The natives weren't providing the food for him. So he knew that the lunar eclipse was on the way. So he said, "I will command the moon to turn red if you don't give me the food." The moon turned red. They gave him the food.
Pretty clever trick. It's a bit like C-3PO pretending he's a god to the Ewoks, and
a bit like that. Yeah.
It's not like that. No. But yeah, good trick. I mean, if you can and eclipses have been able to be mapped out when they're going to happen for a number of centuries now. It's not that hard once you get to predict the cycles of the moon. They sort of, I mean, the moon goes opposite the sun from the Earth every month, but normally it goes above or below the Earth's shadow. I don't know how technical you want to get here, but because as the moon goes around the Earth, it also goes up and down a little bit. So what we call a declination. So only when it happens to be crossing that center line or the node, exactly on a full moon, that's the only time we'll get an eclipse. That's why we don't have an eclipse every full moon.
Okay, and currently I'm looking at 2 pictures of an eclipse that happened in 2003 on May the 16th and also November the 8th in 2003. they look quite different. The May one looks way darker, and the November one looks a lot redder. Why the difference there?
I think they're degrees of eclipse. So they're both, well, maybe one's full and one's partial, and the color difference. I'm guessing that's just to do with the camera and the conditions.
Okay. Good.
But the moon's fairly easy to take photos of because you can get a fairly good exposure of it. So, Stardome have telescopes pointing at the moon, and if you've got a little camera, like actually, cell phones and little cameras, they're actually the best for taking photos of the eclipse because you can get the lens inside into the telescope eyepiece.
Well, there's a trick for new players. Head along to Stardome and take your own eclipse picture using your cell phone. That's very, very cool. So next Tuesday evening, make sure you get in there and get a seat. A seat in the front row.
They've got a show on eclipses too, so a half-hour planetarium special show which sort of shows all about how they work and sort of go into the space and see how the moon orbits the Earth and how it all works. And but you will be able to see it from anywhere in Auckland. In fact, anywhere in the country, really. I'll actually be down in the Southern Alps at that time, so I won't see the full eclipse. I'll only see a partial eclipse. But still, it'll be in the Southern Alps, so it'll make it extra awesome.
It'll make it extra special. Dylan, thanks so much. Enjoy your lunar eclipse. And